How's this for the first in our occasional series we're calling Escapes? It's an unusual luxury hotel in an exotic tropical setting. A hotel where just checking in is a heart-stopping experience, as Ben Tracy discovered.
Bill Bensley certainly knows how to make an entrance.
Oh my God! That's wonderful!
He brought us here to his new luxury tented camp inside the largest rainforest in Cambodia. Guests enter the property by racing down one of the longest zip lines in Asia.
What's the response from guests when they realize, when they show up, that they could zip line into the hotel?
So far, everybody's done it except for one.
Bensley calls this Chintamani Wild. He pitched the palatial rooms over a raging river. And these so-called tents don't come cheap. They're about $2,000 a night. Bensley says his design inspiration was Jackie Kennedy. He created the kind of place he thinks she would have stayed at during her 1967 visit to Cambodia.
What if the king had brought her on a glamping trip? What would that have been like?
What do you think Jackie Kennedy would think of this place?
Oh, I know she'd love it.
His confidence comes from experience. Bill Bensley has designed more than 200 hotels in 30 different countries. He's one of the most famous hotel designers in Asia. Known for the famed Four Seasons tented camp in Thailand, this stunning cliffside intercontinental resort in Vietnam, and numerous luxury escapes in Bali. His work to date already fills 520 pages of an enormous coffee table book called Escapism.
Let's talk about your style a little bit.
Wait a second. I don't have a style.
You don't have a style.
I want specifically not to have a style, because I want the next project to be a surprise.
You want everything to be different.
I want everything to be different.
I have never seen you do concrete and glass and call it a day.
Yeah, don't call me a minimalist. Yeah, you'll get chucked out if you call me a minimalist. I'm a very proud maximalist.
Actually, maximalist may be minimizing it. Bensley's projects reflect his personality. Playful, certainly colorful, and sometimes way over the top.
You have been called crazy.
Thank you.
You have been called crazy sane.
Thank you.
Do you have a preference?
Crazy sane sounds more professional, I think. Don't you?
You might get more work that way. Yeah. It's not just crazy. But crazy, I would imagine, goes a long way in your line of work.
Of course it does. Yeah, because who wants to go on vacation to a serious place? You really simplified this, didn't you? Yeah?
He is, however, quite serious about his work. At his studio in Bangkok, a team of 150 people is currently working on 100 different projects, and no detail is too small or too odd.
I need to ask that dealer in Sri Lanka about two very large peacocks.
Bensley's team doesn't just design hotels.
Oh, there it is. I was wondering where that went.
They create almost everything inside of them as well, from the artwork that hangs on the walls.
This is the Maldivian Cuckoo Queen and the Maldivian Cuckoo King.
To the uniforms worn by the staff.
Oh no, that's fabulous. Oh, I love that.
Bensley then fills the hallways and rooms with antiques he's collected from all over the world. He stores them in this enormous warehouse he calls the Cabinet of Curiosities.
That's our front door over here.
At the Siam Hotel in Bangkok, one of his favorite and most famous projects, he built a massive atrium that brings the outside inside. The hotel, which feels more like a very rich person's home, is a black and white temple to Thai history.
There's something like 5,000 antique, unique pieces here in this hotel. It's the story of the history of Thailand.
Bensley's own story began in Anaheim, California, where he grew up in the shadow of Disneyland. After graduating from Harvard, he moved to Asia, where he launched his career. He's now lived in Bangkok for nearly 30 years. His house is like one of his hotels, a series of elaborate rooms and gardens.
Oh yeah, beautiful red leaf.
Yeah, these.
The 60-year-old shares this with his husband, Jirichai. The two have been together for nearly 3 decades.
You work together, you live together. How do you make that work and stay together for 30 years?
A good question.
Chair Chai's the boss. I do whatever I'm told.
The secret to a happy marriage?
Looks like we got some snails in here.
They spend much of their time in the garden, which is fitting because Bill Bensley considers himself a gardener first, designing his projects, such as the elaborate tented camp in Cambodia, around the existing landscape. He says building this is the hardest thing he's ever done, but it's a labor of love to protect this stunning forest from being destroyed by the logging industry.
It seems it would be easier at this point in your career to kind of repeat yourself. To take things that work somewhere and just do it again.
What I'm really proud about is every single one of our hotels is very different from the next, and that no one knows what to expect from me next. Once you start repeating yourself, you're dead.
Here we go.
And there is no doubt that Bill Bensley is still very much alive.